As the evolution of consciousness unfolds, we see the development and expression of ever-increasing powers of knowledge and action. There are powers of perception. There are powers of thought and reflection. There are powers of vital expression, emotion, and there are physical powers. Because evolution of consciousness is progressive and reveals itself over time, we also find that not all powers reveal themselves at the same time, nor perfectly in all individuals at once. Rather, we find that some of these powers appear first in isolated individuals, and then later may find a more general expression. Further, we must conclude that additional, unexpected powers lie in the future, waiting for their time to develop and manifest actively. Some powers, as they manifest, appear to be spontaneous in their action, while others seem to require a substantial effort of training, practice, and systematic attempts at use. We see that some powers may show just an inkling of their potential until they are focused on and systematically perfected in their action. Athletes may have a natural ability, for instance, but it is through constant exercise and training that the optimal impact of that ability can be recognized. There is a somewhat long continuum between an individual who runs or jumps for the first time and the Olympic runner or high jump competitor. Similarly, powers of emotional expression, powers of empathy, compassion, consecration, aspiration, can be developed and turned into a strength for those who are prepared to take up those powers. On the mental level, powers of observation, memory, reasoning, logical inference, planning, imagination, etc. all may appear variously across different individuals and may develop over time with repeated use and focus of the individual. While we cannot predict entirely what further powers lie in humanity's future, we can easily accept the idea that such powers will manifest, given the historical trend of the development and expression of consciousness that we can already observe. We may find that some powers that are rare or incipient in certain individuals actually represent more generalized powers that will be more widely available to humanity as a whole in the future. This brings in the question as to whether powers such as remote viewing, overcoming the force of gravity, applying powers to the healing and regeneration of the body, etc., can be part of humanity's future. Dr. Dalal observes, quote, "Two types of latent powers may be distinguished. There are powers within us that are yet unevolved and for the most part unsuspected, if not disbelieved, such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, telepathy, and other occult powers spoken of in the latter part of the book. There are other powers that we already possess and use, but are latent in the sense of existing in quite a rudimentary or undeveloped form. We do not regard these latter as powers because there seems to be nothing extraordinary about them. Such are the powers of thought, imagination, will, concentration, intuition, and the like, which, in their present state in most human beings, are quite undeveloped in relation to what they could be at their highest potential. What we see in a genius is simply the flowering of powers which are either undeveloped or totally latent in us. As the mother remarks, there is a genius within every one of us. The possibility of developing one's potential to a remarkable degree exists also with physical powers and abilities pertaining to the body. An Olympic athlete has simply developed abilities which are present in some degree in everyone. The mother gives examples of how even our sensory abilities, such as sight and hearing, can be heightened to a miraculous degree, and remarks, we can do infinitely more than we actually do. End quote. Reference, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Powers Within, Introduction, page Roman 10.